I just wanted to create a really quick one, just a few minutes, just to help anybody who's feeling perhaps a bit overwhelmed with the day. So perhaps you've just woken up, or perhaps you've had a challenging day where you're thinking, why do I even bother? I might not even bother getting out of bed tomorrow. So if you're starting to have depressing thoughts or anything like that, I'll just let you know what helps me through these days. So look, the thing is, you might have been feeling like this for a day, for a week, for a month, or a few months even, or for a good while, for years and years. The thing is, it all starts with making the decision to do something, basically, to do something positive, as a way of kind of reprogramming and getting out of this vicious circle. Because the way it seems to work is, we have this depressing thought, or this anxious thought, or this fear, and it's telling us that things are doom and gloom and all that kind of thing. But then the reality of the situation is that it can make us not take the right action. It can obviously make us take wrong actions as well. So like drinking too much alcohol, taking drugs, smoking cigarettes, and all those kind of things. And I don't want to, if you do those things and you enjoy them, and then it's horses for courses. But for me, those things are objectively bad things. But I didn't want to criticise anybody if that's their thing. But for me, there are objectively good and bad things that, from my perspective, what I do. And if I do, for example, sweeping the floor, or washing my car, or tidying my desk, these are objectively good things from my point of view. Right, so I wanted to make this video to help anybody who's feeling overwhelmed right now, and you just can't see the wood for the trees. You've got this sinking feeling, and you just feel fed up, really. And maybe you've got to go to work today. Maybe you've got to go to work tomorrow. Maybe you've just got back from an holiday for a week or two. And you've got to rejoin the rat race, or something like that. So this video is for you, and I want to help you to kind of have some techniques so that you can kind of change the way that you're thinking. Now, the thing is, you can improve things. That's the main thing. So when you're feeling anxious about the future, it's usually because of uncertainty. It's usually because you've tried things and they've not worked, and that kind of thing. But this is often a very temporary thing, and you can take some steps to get out of the hole, as it were. And it's often it can often take a while to get into an hole. And so it can sometimes take a similar amount of time to get out of an hole as well. Now, I'm talking from experience with this when I say I've been in some pretty dark places in my time, and I've managed to get myself out, and I've often needed the help of others as well. So the number one thing is, if you need help with anything, then 100% ask for help. And what I'll also say is, so if you've got a support network around you, if you haven't, there's numbers that you can call as well. But if you're really in a hole, then ask for help 100%. And then I would say you also need to, once you've got that help in place, you need to help yourself as well. You've got to want to change. You've got to want to change your life, and to be really not take on a victim mindset, but actually have take control over your decisions. So actually, when you're making a decision, right, this is the decision that I've made. So, you know, this has been the consequence, and this is why I'm in a place that I'm in now, right? So I'm keeping this very general, this video. Whether I'll give you some examples, whether you're in debt, whether you just lost your job, you might have been made redundant, you might have had a business failure, you might be, you know, struggling in some kind of way, and it's taking its toll on your mind, on your mindset. The thing that I do when I'm in these situations, and I've been in these situations quite a few times, is to write down what you can control in that situation. So what can I do today? What's a little thing that I can do today just to change things just a little bit, and then that'll open up your mind to start thinking about some, you know, the art of the possible in what else you can be doing. But for now, not to get overwhelmed. It's all about how do you eat an elephant a spoonful at a time. Just do one little thing that can help. And I'm talking about a quick win, but I'm not talking about instant gratification. I'm not talking about doing something which is negative. It's got to be something that's positive. So a good example of something that's positive is go for a walk for a few minutes, or 20 minutes, or 1 hour, or whatever you can do, just to get out in the fresh air, just to feel the earth under your feet, just to listen to the birds tweeting, something like that, something to distract you, something else you can focus on. And you might not feel like doing it, and you know you might not feel like doing it, but I'd do it anyway. Your subconscious might be telling you, oh, you know, it's a waste of time, and you might have some kind of limiting beliefs. Well, walking doesn't actually do anything, or whatever, and just, I mean, that's just a lie that our subconscious can tell us. You know, when you feel that everything's a bit too much, oh, that's not going to make any difference. Just one walk is not going to make any difference. I've got all these problems and stuff like that. So that's an example of a good thing that you can do. An example of a bad thing that I don't recommend doing would be something like gorging on a load of ice cream or chocolate or something to get some kind of boost. I mean, that can sometimes help, you know, short term, but then long term you might end up feeling worse. Because once you've had that high from the sugar rush, then you might end up getting a low, you know, which might make you feel even worse. So try to stick to healthy things. Look, if you can just have an healthy meal rather than, you know, like a fatty, sugary kind of snack or something like that, have that healthy meal. And I know it sometimes might feel a bit boring, but your taste buds adapt to that kind of thing. Right. So why am I talking about having a meal? Why am I talking about going for a walk? Because habits are stacked, basically. Habits, it's called habit stacking, and you can stack good habits and you can stack bad habits. So you got to be very careful which direction you're going, because, for example, people who have got an alcohol problem, they drink alcohol and then they might have a greasy takeaway, which is not good for them, with trans fats and all that kind of thing. So they might have a greasy kebab from takeaway, and then they might eat that late at night, you know, when it's not good for them, like 1 a.m. So they wake up, you know, feeling awful from that as well as the alcohol and the dehydration and all that damage. So these habits tend to stack. Now, if you stop drinking, for example, or you know, you stop doing something that's you know, a bad habit, then you tend to then want to go to the gym or want to go for that walk and start to, you know, view your body as more of a temple. But we're made up of not just the body, we've got the mind, the spirit, the soul, and they all want to be in harmony with each other. And the thing is, if you're abusing your body, and that's the way it's manifesting because of the depressing thoughts. Maybe the depressing thoughts come first, so then you do something bad to kind of cover it up, or to dull the pain. Essentially, it's all about dopamine, getting the dopamine, to feel better and stuff like that. The thing is, you can have when you get the dopamine quicker through instant gratification, that always leads to long-term pain. But when you get the dopamine slower and more consistently as well, so you don't have the big drop, you don't have the big high, but you don't have the big drop, you have it more consistently, like going for a walk or going to the gym or doing some exercise or doing something that's good for you, then that leads to longer term joy. Yeah, so just remember that delayed gratification. So you've got to get up to go for that walk, and you've got to be doing that walk. And I know how it feels, but once you start doing it, it's not so bad. You're out there, then might as well keep going. I'm a few minutes in. I might as well carry on. So it's that kind of thing, and it moves you into that direction. And then I'm going for a walk, right? I'm not going to ruin it now, but I'm going to have a takeaway with not lots of trans fats in it and chemicals or whatever it is. I'm now going to have a healthy dinner, right? But if you did something bad, then usually you go down the path of doing more bad things. So just remember, habits stack in both directions. Good habits stack. You can start working on other good habits, start working on other bad habits. So what if you've got a bunch of bad things? I would say tackle one. Tackle the one that you feel is the biggest problem, is doing the most damage, and that's what I would do, and that's what I've done in the past. So the one that's doing the biggest damage, and then that'll uncover some others, and you'll have to no doubt go through some uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable thoughts, and all that kind of thing, and perhaps even rebuild as well. So reprogram, because these things have been habits over time. So that's the way it usually works. So just prepare for that, but have a good support system around you. Now, what I'm talking about applies very generally to a lot of things in life. It could be, let's say you just lost your job, and you kind of getting fear for the future, and you're thinking, I might run out of money, won't be able to feed my family, won't be able to keep the lights on, won't be able to keep warm, won't be able to keep a roof over our heads, and things like that. The thing is, the fear, which is false expectations appearing real, is it's a fallacy that we tell ourselves. It's imagining and focusing on the worst possible things that could happen, the worst possible permutations of a situation. So what I would 100% do in that situation, and what I would say would work best, would be to get into a good routine. Let's say you've had a job, and let's say you had a good routine when you had the job. You had to get there on time. You had to stay there. I'd stay in that same routine. I wouldn't start getting up late. I wouldn't start going to bed late. I wouldn't start getting all doom and gloom. I would not lose myself into that chaos, because it's usually chaos that causes bad habits, right? So stay in the good routine, get up at the same time of the day. Even when you're on holiday, get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, and be honest with yourself. If you're applying for jobs and you're applying for X number of jobs per day, then make sure that you're doing it consistently. And if you go to the job centre, they say how many you're applying for, be honest how many you're applying for, and actually apply for them, and prepare for that meeting by doing your work and be accountable and all that kind of thing. So this applies to everything. It's all about good habits, because routines and things that we do every day, like doing gratitude, so looking at what being thankful, happy and grateful for what we've got, that's good in this life. We focus on the good, and it leaves less time or no time to have the fear, which is the fear of the unknown, the lack of faith that things will that things will work out. Now, for things to work out, we can't just sit here, and things don't just come to us. We're not entitled to things. We've got to work for things, so we've got to put the inputs in. So I hope this video has been helpful. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do drop me a comment in if any of this has resonated with you, if it helped you in some kind of way, any questions or any other videos that you're interested in me perhaps delving into and unpacking some topics, and I'll see you next time.